I was in the front cabin talking to Mr. Jagan, having my reservation canceled from 4 o'clock to 2 o'clock instead of having a 4-hour layover in Boston. And he got a call from the captain to go upstairs. He came back about 10 minutes later and he said, I want you to stay here. I don't want you to go in back to the plane. So there's a bomb aboard. We're flying to Denver. At this point I said, was this an altitude bomb? He said, yes it is. So this is a threat that came out, some extortion threat that came out of Madrid. And he called the entire crew up in the front, all the girls, they stopped service, and he gave the general spiel. And Marge came looking for me. I was gone about a half an hour. She walked in the room and nobody else in the plane knew about it yet. And I sat her down, I got Jake, and I said, she's up here right now and everyone's breaking everything open. What's she going to do? She wants to know what's happening. So we told her, now the two of us are white as a sheet and we're sitting there waiting. Finally, about a couple minutes later, they announced it over the PA.
For those of you that purchased duty-free items, if you take a look at your duty-free items and see if there's anything suspicious about them, cigarettes, booze, just take a look at the box.
First reaction? Actually, I perceived that something was wrong beforehand because I saw the pilot go back with flashlights. And at first I said, a leak in the toilet. But I've been asking the pilots and the people what it was that they learned to determine that this was a legitimate threat. And apparently it was the sophistication of the call in terms of the altitude at which they said it would be detonated. I think overall everyone has kept calm pretty well. But if you notice, when the pilot first came on the air, you could feel the tension in his voice. But, you know, there's not much you can do about a situation like this. Ironically enough, if you look in the Time magazine that they have on board this plane, there's a big long article about security measures at airports and how much it's going to cost each airline and who's ultimately going to pay the price. They've been very direct and to the point about the seriousness of the situation. For example, the pilot came up to me and inquired whether my packages had been unattended at the airport. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, I mean this, it's your life. Were they unattended? So they're not fooling around. But at the same time, everyone's behaving quite well.
Thank you.
I advised our hostesses to give you a snack service. Perhaps many of you are not hungry right now after this exciting search, but I would sincerely ask you to have something to eat, because I believe it's going to be quite a long flight from now on. Anyway, I have been ordered by our captain we will not land at any other airport than in Denver, Colorado. If we would go down in New York, we would be in New York perhaps in approximately a half an hour from now. From New York to Denver, Colorado, it takes approximately 3.5 to 4 hours. I don't have exactly the time planned now. very soon after this, after the captain is clear in his work, he's going to come on the PA and explain himself a little bit more clearly than I do. We would kindly ask you, again, stay to your seats nice and calm, and have now a nice cup of coffee and a nice little sandwich. It's going to do very good for you.
And I have been down at the Caribbean in the water, and I have been hiding skyjack, so I guess I just take it for granted that I can travel. Why did you continue to fly after so much bad luck with planes? Well, my best friends were all killed in automobiles.
I guess the initial shock or the initial zinger, as they call it, is over. I hope sit back, relax, and we'll get you there. We're going to get you there because I'm going to get there too. Tomorrow's my day off.
What do you think of the situation that you're in right now?
I think it's pretty bad, but you have to make the best of it because it could happen to anybody.
What did you think when the captain gave you an announcement?
I got really nervous at first, and then I said, well, calm down because there's nothing you can do about it.
How do you think the people on the plane are reacting?
They're acting very nice. They're taking it very, very good. Everybody is calm, collected, and trying to talk to each other.
We're going to make it, aren't we?
We're going to make it.
For those of you that are wondering, what are we going to do when we get in? We're going to have facilities set up for you. We'll probably have to check a couple of things on the airplane. We're going to be in contact with flight dispatch to find out just what the disposition of passengers will be. I don't mean your disposition. I know you're going to be tired. I mean as far as how we plan to get you to your final destination. I'm not quite sure of that. But what I would do is solicit your cooperation. So when we get in, you just stay in your seats. Just stay right there. Don't move. Don't get up. Just sit in your seats. Let me talk to the people at the Air Force Base. Find out what kind of accommodations we have. I'm quite sure it's pretty cold up there. For the Eskimos on board, I guess you won't mind it, but the rest of us city slickers is going to be a little bit cold for us. So
Any seatbelt around for very small babies. 10 minutes before arrival, the captain is going to be at the PA and he's going to give us the last instruction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would kindly ask you to follow all those preparations because you will never know what happened. Like I said a little bit before, I strongly believe that we're going to have a safe landing here and a nice song on our arrival anyway. However, we try to do everything possible just for our own safety and for your own safety in cise any impact could be here, so we are prepared and we can come for it. In case we have to use the emergency doors, our hostesses, our cabin attendants will operate them as fast as possible. However, for this event, we would kindly ask you, take off your shoes. If anybody is carrying glasses, take off your glasses. Take off any sharp articles on you. Just place them beside on your seat.
You wish you would smooth out?
I'm in a very that's Rapid City.
We'll be opening the doors here and a civilian police force or the FBI is going to come on board of this aircraft. Thank you. Oh boy, was this a day.
Oh, Egon said to me, he said, hurry up and open up the doors. Only 10 people had their shoes on.
Early this morning, more than 20 hours after they had left Madrid, the passengers affected by that phony bomb threat aboard TWA Flight 903 finally landed at Kennedy Airport. One of the passengers, Fred Winograd of Jersey City, had his portable videotape equipment with him during the flight, and he began taping after the bomb threat was announced.
I'm not sure if it was the pilot, but someone got on and it might have been the service manager and said, May I have your attention, please? I have bad news for you. At that point, we thought we were going to land in Boston because of the weather or something like that, and he said something to the effect of, we have a report that allegedly there's a bomb on this plane. And that was it. Yeah.
Fred, you had your portable videotape equipment on board with you at the time. Let's take a look at what you shot on board the plane.
In front of you, please. That's one other hiding thing.
Well, first they told everybody to go back to their seats and get all the baggage that was the duty-free things out.